School of Scrubs by Elizabeth Griffin. Available on Kindle Vella. Talisa Johnson knew her name confused people. It had been doing so for years. Whenever her name was called out in public as a child, strangers would look around, expecting to see a black girl with braids and gold-toothed earrings. No one was ever prepared to see a skinny white child with big green eyes and freckles. Talisa was always a surprise to them. A few onlookers would even stare at her for a moment or two before resuming whatever they'd been doing. As a child, Talisa hadn't thought too much of it. Adults were always watching the movements of children. It didn't matter whether the youngsters were at a public playground or a crowded supermarket. Protecting children was what grown-ups did. That's what Talisa believed until she reached the age of 11. That was when she first noticed the strange looks. Talisa listened as her name was being announced by the Dean of Medicine. She quickly rose from the narrow seats in the large auditorium. She was surrounded by all of her peers and glanced at a few of them as she made her way to the front of the room. "Congratulations," said the professor of embryology. "Welcome to medical school." Talisa smiled boldly and permitted the science instructor to assist her in donning the short lab coat. She took in the embroidered lettering of her name and her title. The tall blonde with bleached freckles paused to have her picture taken, and then she returned to her vacant seat. She wondered whether her classmates were also expecting to see an African-American woman. If so, then they too had just experienced a surprise. She adjusted her white lab coat and watched several other students sit down beside their families and friends. She, Talisa, sat alone.